Who's the buyer usually?
Okay, that's a very interesting problem with the framework play, because in a lot of places, of cases, the person who buys the framework is not the person who uses the framework. Depends on which framework you create. If it's a, I don't know, if it's Git-like thing, the old Git, and it costs like, I don't know, $50 per team, then the sovereign team can make decisions about those usually. So then you sell to the actual people who use it. But if you build a larger infrastructure, think about, just as an example, like Amazon. The person who decides to go to Amazon or to go to GCP or to go to Azure is not the person who will pay for it, and it's not the person who will use it every day. These are sometimes three different people. So you need to build your sales position in a way that will allow you to speak to the three of them, and hope that you will not get on a meeting with all of them together, because then it's a very confusing conversation. But basically, you need to show everybody how they get value in the language they understand. Okay, the buying function, it can be a CFO, it can be a purchasing person or something like this. Their main thing is to show that their KPI is to show that something costs X and they got it by X minus delta. So you need to have the delta ready. You need to know how you can negotiate with them. The different stakeholders throughout the organization. For instance, in infrastructure, you need to have the DevOps approval for everything. You need to see what benefit they get from this. In our case, we told them that they can focus on the job they really want to do, on building a scalable business and stuff like this. They don't need to work to solve problems of daily development problems that we can solve for them. And then you have the developers for whom, in our case, we solve the problem, or we solved it before the pivot. We had the pivot lately. And then you need to show them what's the value they're getting. And in order to have those three stories aligned, basically you're telling the same story in three different angles. Mm-hmm. So in order to tell the story in a coherent way and have every person understand it and on board with you, you must be laser sharp focused. I'm saying it again. I know I said it like 10 minutes ago, but that's the main thing. Like, I can tell you my elephant story. It's not mine. You know the old elephant story?
No.
4 blind men went to the zoo, and somebody let them feel an elephant. So one of them was holding the elephant ear. It was like a pita bread, something soft and soggy and very large. The other person was holding the let's say it's 3 blind men, so it'll be shorter. The second person was holding the elephant leg. So he felt like, like a pillar with nails or something, like spikes at the end. And the third person was holding the elephant tail. And he felt like a small whip with very bad smell. So at the end, they went back to their classroom, and somebody asked them, how is the elephant? And one of them said it's a loaf of bread. The other said it's a pillar, and the third one said it's a whip with bad smell. So don't let your product be this elephant. Yeah. Your product needs to tell a very, very simple story. If you can't pitch I'm usually telling people that if you can't pitch your product to your grandmother, your pitch is bad. You are too much into ego. You're too much into saying big words inside description of an idea. You will have time for the big words when you speak with the subject matter experts. Try to keep it simple. Try to explain very sharply what you're giving to the world.